My name is Ryan with Deployed Logix, and today we're going to be digging into our 24-hour pack. This is intended to give you an overview of how this might be used. Obviously, there's going to be items depicted inside of this pack that do not come with it. It's more of an idea to help understand how you might be able to utilize it, what kind of equipment can fit inside of it, so that you can better envision how it might fit into your team and your SOPs. When we do talk about things that are included, we will specifically call those items out. So the idea for this 24-hour pack came from a lot of our customers that have experience with our standard USAR harness and wanted to be able to integrate a backpack into this harness system to make it a lot more convenient for them to carry their mandatory 24-hour items on board with them. One of the first things you're going to notice on the back of this 24-hour pack is another helmet storage location. Obviously, if you're familiar with our USAR harness, you know about the net for that purpose on our harness. However, we understand that if you're going to be clipping your backpack onto your vest, you're not going to be able to utilize that space anymore. So we've included that on the back of this backpack. This is fully adjustable, so you can size it to whatever type of headwear you're using. Whether you have visors or integrated hearing protection, you're going to be able to fit it in this pouch. Above the location for the helmet storage, you're going to see this large hook and loop section. So if you have unit identifiers, name badges, or patches that you would like to add, you have that full field here for the width of the 24-hour pack, just below this reflective stripe. We're going to have a standard pickup handle at the top. We designed this handle to be in a location where it can also be open and still be able to pick up the pack. It is not integrated into any of the front flaps, so you can hang this and still be able to get items in and out of it. The zippers that we use on the external portions of this pack with these high visibility pull tabs are locking zippers, meaning you can't just rip the pouch open. You have to manually pull them open. This was designed specifically so that if you're in the field digging through rubble or anywhere else where there may be snag hazards, you're not going to run the risk of your whole pack ripping open if it gets caught on anything. As we open up this whole front zipper here, you're going to notice a couple different things. So at the top of this front pouch, we're going to have a padded area for things like sensitive electronics or eye protection. And then below that, we have a couple administrative zippered pouches that allow you to have any sort of notepads, maps, compasses, writing utensils, anything like that you might need to access in a hurry, knives, or anything else that you might want to have access to on this administrative side. Likewise, on the back portion of this same large pouch, we also have quick access administrative pouches. So if you have things like medical supplies, ear protection, gloves, all of those can be readily accessed without having to dig all the way down into your pouch, and again, moving all the way down. Obviously, when I'm in the field, I want to be able to keep my administrative items separate from my clothing items or my rain layer or thermal layers. So then I have this large zippered section along the entire back that then opens up an additional compartment. So inside here, I can have additional thermal layers, clothing, pants, and other hygiene equipment located inside this large pouch. And then as you look at the inside of this large pouch, we have some laser cut MOLLE with also hook and loop attachment. So if you wanted to add additional administrative pouches or organizational pouches in this large internal space, you can still do so on the inside of this main compartment. As we move around to the sides of our 24-hour pack, you're going to find these large general purpose pouches that again have the high visibility striping on them, as well as this high visibility pull tab. These are simply going to be secured via a hook and loop method. Each of these pouches is also going to have a bungee connection so you can cinch down whatever is in there if it's not taking up the full space, just to make sure things don't fall out as you're moving around. These pouches are specifically designed for multiple purposes. So for example, being able to have 2 cans of any sort of marking spray paint to be able to identify which areas have been searched or not searched. If I flip it around to the other side, when I open this side, you'll see that it is also sized for a full-size water bottle. It is also sized so you can fit our full-size bleeding control kit in the side here, along with some of our coagulant spray if you wanted to go that route. And again, that can simply be pulled tight to keep any of those contents from falling out. Both of these side pockets have grommet holes on the bottom to make sure that these are able to drain if you are in a wet environment, or if you set it down in something wet, that moisture is going to be able to remove itself from those pouches as well. Looking at the bottom of our 24-hour pack, you're going to notice again some laser cut moly. This is so that you can attach any sort of additional either general purpose pouches or storage pouches to be able to contain some larger items, or you can just keep it totally smooth and allow this to sit nicely on a flat surface. You'll also notice here another pouch. This is going to hold your included rainfly. This is using a high visibility color just to make it so you don't accidentally lose your bags in the field. It is one solid piece of material with no seam lines or weld lines to make sure that this is moisture resistant. We also specifically chose a bright color so that if you or your SOPs call for wanting to label this additionally, you can use a regular Sharpie and be able to write that on the outside. It is also sized, so even with a fully laden backpack with a helmet installed, you can still fit it over the entirety of the 24-hour pack, ensuring that all of the contents are going to be able to stay clean and dry when you're in a wet environment. As can be expected with any sort of backpack, it is going to come with its own shoulder straps. We also have a storage compartment here in the back, so if you wanted to be able to clip this into your USAR harness in a more seamless manner, you can actually stow these. These do also have organization for hydration lines, radial lines, or areas to clip in for things like a push-to-talk, as well as this chest strap going across the front. If I wanted to be able to stow these, I have these quick release buckles here at the bottom. And then I can open this pouch. And then stow the straps inside this pouch, which then leaves the buckles for actually attaching to the USAR harness. So now that we've got the shoulder strap stowed in this large pocket back here, I'm going to demonstrate using these quick release buckles that you can incorporate into your USAR harness. These are going to come included with the 24-hour pack to make it a little bit more stable. These are just going to connect into your little cinching straps here on the side. And then once clipped in, I can take these top shoulder buckles and clip them in to the top of our USAR harness. Now that this pack is clipped in, it's going to allow you to have a simple one-stop shop to be able to carry all of your equipment in one location if you're trying to be staged or prepared for any sort of emergency, or to be able to rapidly deploy anywhere where your team might go. This now just gives you one place to grab, and then you can stow this with your equipment or wear it into whatever vehicle or other means of transportation you're going to be using to get to your location with all of your equipment in tow. So if you have any questions or would like some further information about this 24-hour pack or our USAR harness, you can check us out at deployedlogix.com.